I just wanted to briefly say I chose this image because I feel that each and every one of us are like this and have these moments in time, that no matter what the circumstances are around us, whether they seem impenetrable or unmoving, that we are still those flowers that can grow so beautifully and so colorfully in those moments. I know for me, I'm experiencing that moment, but I know each and every one of you, especially those that I've talked to often, have had these moments. And as they say, this too shall pass. So every moment of a wildflower shall pass, those hard ones, the beautiful ones, the perfect ones, and in it is just staying present in the moment of where you are. So I love this because it reminds me that no matter where you are, no matter what is going on, no matter what happens in your life, you are that beautiful wildflower that grows wildly. And that God, that's greatness on demand, broke the mold when he made each and every one of us. So I just wanted to say that. It reminded me of this whole congregation when I saw this. Thank you. So the title of my talk, let me see if I can move. Yep, there it is. When is now? When is now? So when I knew that I was speaking on this Sunday, this was after what Thor and I had done, which ended at the beginning of August, right? I think we started at the beginning of July and we ended it in the beginning of August. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is the perfect subject to talk about. When is now? Because when are you going to do something? When I'm skinny, I'll be happy. When I'm have more money, I'll be happy. When I have the right man, I'll be happy. When I do this, I'll travel the world. It's when this, that, And the truth is, there is no when this, that. There's just now. That's all there is, and in this moment to experience. So that was the title of my talk even before my accident. But then I got into an accident. And so much of what we teach here was scrambled. It wasn't just my brain that was scrambled, it was my beliefs that became really scrambled during this moment. And I had to remember, so if I get emotional, you'll have to excuse me because it's still kind of fresh, even though James says, don't work your problems. This is not a problem. This is actually something really beautiful that I came to awareness of because of my friends who supported me during this. All of you who called and left notes. That's why I can stand here and talk about this. So when I was in my accident with body having its issues, head having its issues, but more importantly, my beliefs having their issues, questioned over and over again. Because how is it that something like this could happen? And that is the moment that I have to bring my consciousness on demand. When? Now. Right now. Right now, as you're walking out of the car that you probably shouldn't be walking out of, that's when you turn and you say, I am grateful for this moment. I am grateful that I'm alive. I am grateful that I'm here. It is in this moment that I do that. So this talk also fits for what I'm about to say. Okay, so I wanted to start with this quote by Eckhart Tolle because I've been reading a lot of The Power of Now to bring me into this present moment, to remind me that what I believe is actually the truth of my life, that in any moment I remember who I am. So Eckhart Tolle says this, nothing happened in the past. It happened in the now. Nothing will ever happen in the future. It will happen in the now. So what does that mean? That means that anything that has happened in the past that we continue to carry means it is continuing to happen in the now. And anything that we perceive might happen in the future, we bring it to the now, it will come to fruition. As they say, what you resist persists if you're bringing your attention to it, right? So the only time that anything happens is in the now. And I'm not saying you don't plan for your future, you don't plan for a vacation, you don't plan for something. Of course you do, you plan for the future. But when you experience the future as something that is happening right now, you have the ability to create it. That's when you create something that you want. Conversely, when you keep your attention in a future that you don't want, you're going to create it and you're going to experience it. So everything happens in the now. he also says this: awareness is the power that is concealed within the present moment. The ultimate purpose of human existence, which is to say your purpose, is to bring that power into this world. Your awareness is power. The awareness that you bring into every moment is the awareness that is creating the next moment. That's what Eckhart Tolle is saying here. In his power of now, in the power of now, in the power of this moment where there is no other moment, it is your awareness that is creating what it is that you want to create. And it is your awareness in that moment, which is the power, that can change any trajectory. So when I was in my accident, I had to bring a lot of awareness. A lot of awareness. A lot of awareness during my being in the ER while being prodded and prodded. A lot of awareness when looking at my car, pictures of my car. That really upset me. A lot of awareness of just a lot of awareness in that moment of, okay, how do I accept what has happened now? Even though I feel in this moment it's so completely unfair, do I hang on to the fact that I feel it's unfair? Someone ran a red light and caused this for me to happen, for it to happen to me. Someone doing that, that's unfair. I no longer have my Jacqueline, I called my Jag. I loved her so much. I don't have her anymore. That's unfair. Do I keep my awareness on what's unfair, or do I keep my awareness on the fact that in this moment, even in this moment, like that wildflower growing through the cracks of concrete can grow? Can I bring my awareness to that? And I'll tell you, it took me a bit. It really did, which is why I reached out immediately to the practitioner court, and I felt the prayers, I felt the energy, I felt the shift in my consciousness, which I know I didn't do on my own. I know it was because I reached out to someone else who knew something more than I knew in that moment. Someone who believed more than I could in that moment. I needed that, and I am eternally grateful for that, because it's gotten me to another moment where I can go, okay, as Tiffany said, pick up your girl pants, straighten up the crown, and keep walking. And that I did. My conversation with Thor, when I called him as I was having a complete meltdown, was about how angry I was. And the thing that he said to me was, don't deny your anger. We're not here to deny what's actually happening, but remember where you're going with it. You're not in despair. Okay. You're in anger. Great. But are you going to keep circling the drain of anger, or are you going to allow yourself to climb out of it? And the thing that I visualized when he said those words to me was, I imagined myself just diving into an abyss, just filled with anger and swimming around and around. And I could just stay like a shark swimming around and around. Or I could be like a diver swimming up, seeing the light, using that anger to get me to the next thing. And that was the beauty. That actually felt like it gave my anger a purpose. That I didn't have to stay in it, that I didn't have to swim in it, that I didn't have to actually become it, but I could actually use it to get to the next thing, to get to the next awareness. And it goes like this, I'm not gonna lie. And I know eventually I'll stay up here, but I wanna honor exactly where I am. And every person that I spoke to did not make me wrong, did not say, hey, you know what, you're a minister. I guess you're out. They never said that. They said, feel what you're feeling, and give me your hand and I will pull you up. And they did. They really did. As I continued to talk to Thor about this, and we talked about the wonder of it, what I came to realize is how much faith and wonder are connected. I have to wonder how I'm getting through this. I have to wonder what's going to happen next. But I have to have faith that it will turn out exactly and beautifully as it should. That's what I have to have faith in. That's where my wonder has to go. And I love the idea of having wonder be the same as faith, interlocked together, so that what that next step is, where I go next, stays in a wonder of faith, in a faith of wonder, of oneness. It's not lost on me that wonder and oneness are so close together, because it is in this oneness that you are able to swim through and allow yourself to feel that wonder. I talked to Dr. Tiffany too, and I mean, she makes me laugh, by the way, which is kind of, at the time, maybe not that great. My chest was hurting. I'm like, stop making me laugh. But one question that she asked me was very interesting, because I kept, again, spiraling down the rabbit hole of this is going to happen and this is what's going to become of it. And I just, down and down and down. And she said, okay, I'm going to ask you something. What if you wonder something else? What if you actually get a better car than you have? What if when you're at the dealership, you run into the man of your dreams? I'm hoping Keanu Reeves will be there. I'm banking on that, Tiffany. What if something else more powerful happens because you're wondering something else? She said, you're really staying in the relative of it, which you can, and it's easy because it's there and it's tangible and I can see it. And I can see that line because of the relative. And I'm focused over here. But what she's asking me to do is come over here. You can't see it, you don't know it, but because it's a possibility, it does exist. Possibilities exist. And that led me to really understand, where is my focus? Where am I paying my attention to? Because I'll keep going down this relative road of what I'm being given for the car, how unfair this is. Or I can see it as a positive. She basically said, she asked me, she said, the response that you're having is to a traumatic incident is equal to your traumatic AEP's already established premise, which is true. It's almost like you get stunted when something major happens, and you have to bring yourself out of it. So the response is in wondering about the relative instead of wondering about the absolute. And so she asked me, she said, what is in this situation that you can grasp at the moment that is absolute truth? You know the relative because you can see it, but what's the absolute truth that you can grasp? And I love that she used the word grasp, because in that moment it felt like I had to hang on. I had to grasp some truth. Ernest Holmes says this: never let anything cause you to doubt your ability to demonstrate truth. Never let anything cause you to doubt your ability to demonstrate truth. And I would like to add James's tagline, no matter what. That's what Tiffany was asking me to do. This is my car. I walked away from this. I was T-boned because a young gentleman ran a red light, and that careened me into this post. And when Tiffany asked me this question, what is the absolute truth that you can grasp at this moment? For me, I'm alive. For me, I get to hug my kids. For me, I get to stand up here and talk about what happened, and not in a way that damns somebody, but in a way that lifts me up. So for me, when she asked me that question, I realized I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. This is the relative. And what I didn't understand. I sat there and I said, how am I equal to this? How am I equal to this? How am I equal to this? And when I turned the question around and looked at myself, I realized I'm equal to this. I'm equal to life. I'm not equal to that. That's just telling me I'm equal to this. I walked away from that. Yes, I'm bruised. Yes, I've got a concussion. Yes, I had to go to the ER a couple of times. Yes, all of that. But I am equal to life. That's why I'm standing here. And that's why every single one of you are here and you online. We are all equal to life. And we can face and look at the relative of what's happened and wonder, why am I equal to this? Why am I equal to this? Why am I equal to this? And not be able to see that you are equal to this. You are equal to the power, the possibility, the passion that is life right now. What are you doing with it? Why are you looking here? Look here, because this is what counts. This is the power. Don't turn around and look at what's happening that could take your energy away from the passion, the power, the love, the glory, the joy that you have, that you are, because that is exactly who you are. And that question that she asked me about, what can you know is absolute? Well, I'm not equal to this. I'm not equal to this. I'm grateful for it because I am actually equal to a car that saved my life, my little Jacqueline. I'm equal to her saving my life. And I let her know that when I went to the junkyard. I did. I gave her a hug. Someone took a picture, but I didn't care. I'm equal to something saving my life because I have a purpose and I have possibility and I have life. And every single one of you has the same thing, has that purpose, has that life. And remember, it is a gift. I was reminded in 1 nanosecond how precious life is. So it is not lost on me to run out and do exactly what it is that I want to do with flair, with passion, with joy. And I am so grateful for this community, for my dear friends who pulled me out and said, hey, swim in it all you want, but you might want to come up here a little bit. The water's a little better. And I dive in every now and then, and I may be diving in for a little while, but I know exactly who I am. And when I have those moments that I can turn, I go, I have purpose, I have possibility, I have passion, I have life, and so do you. When? Right now. I have life right now, and each and every one of you has that same possibility and that same passion. I don't want to leave you with my wreck, so I will leave you with this. Okay. Life is not just something to be endured. It is to be lived in joy, in a fullness, without limit. Life is to be lived without limit. So if you have a limit, knock it out. It doesn't belong to you. It does not belong to you. You are limitless. You are filled with possibility. And I just want to let you guys know, this morning, Dr. Lori sent me this picture. I had a different picture, but I wanted to include you, Dr. Lori, in my service today for always being there. Again, I am so grateful. Thank you so much. Remember, life, life, life. Namaste.